Picture this, it's 2008. The stock market is in free fall and investors are panicking. But in a quiet corner of New York, a group of savvy individuals are calmly collecting their tax-free income. Their secret? Municipal bonds. Today, we're going to uncover the hidden gem of investing. Today, we're diving deep into municipal bonds, or munis as they're sometimes called. Some of us like to think of them as the wallflowers of the investment world that are secretly the life of the party. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bonds? Isn't that what my grandpa buys in between games of shuffleboard? Well, grab your bifocals and prepare to see bonds in a whole new light. First up, what's a municipal bond? Imagine your city needs to build a new school or fix those potholes that have been testing your car's suspension and your patience. They need cash, and that's where you, the investor, come in. By buying a municipal bond, you're basically becoming your town's banker. In return, they promise to pay you back with interest. Now here's where it gets interesting. The interest you earn from most municipal bonds is often tax-free at the federal level, and sometimes the state and local levels as well. It's like finding a tax loophole, and this one's 100% legal. Let me use a brief example to demonstrate the real power of this exemption. If you're in the 35% tax bracket and you buy a tax-free muni bond yielding 4%, its tax equivalent yield would be around 6.15%. That means you need to find a taxable bond yielding 6.15% to match the muni's return. Pretty neat, right? But wait, there's more. Muni bonds aren't just for the Scrooge McDucks of the world. They can be a great addition to any portfolio, especially if you're looking for, one, stability. Unlike that roller coaster ride we call the stock market, bonds are more like a calm paddleboat ride. Let's step back for a second, because I want to be completely clear. We're not talking about bond ETFs and bond mutual funds. We're talking about individual bonds. 2. Predictable income. Bonds pay interest at regular intervals. It's like getting a paycheck, but you don't have to work for it. Unless you're buying variable rate bonds, which are incredibly rare in the municipal bond market, you're getting paid the same amount, no matter what the market does, no matter what the Fed's doing. It's like getting allowance, but you don't have to mow any lawns. Number 3, safety. While no investment is 100% risk-free, municipal bonds are generally considered very safe, with historic default rates in most years at less than 0.225%. On the screen, you can see the rate of muni defaults over the last 10 years, but I've also included the years of the financial crisis, 08 and 09, just to show how incredibly safe they are, even in the most difficult of markets. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Bob to protect the innocent, was always skeptical about bonds. He thought they were boring and didn't see the point. But then, during a market downturn, his stock portfolio took a huge hit, while his municipal bonds kept paying him like clockwork. Bob realized that those boring bonds were actually the heroes of the portfolio, providing stability when everything else was shaky. Now, Bob's a muni bond evangelizer, and he can't stop talking about them, and he sleeps a lot better at night too. Now let's talk about some of the superpowers of individual municipal bonds. First, exact timing and amount of interest payments. It's like setting your watch to your investment. You know exactly when and how much you're getting paid. Second, guaranteed return of face value at maturity. Barring any defaults, which we've already said are quite rare in muni bonds, you get your initial investment back when the bond matures. It's like lending your friend $20 and actually getting it back. Third, known rate of return at purchase. No need to consult your crystal ball or your neighbor's cat. You know what you're getting from day one. Fourth, immunity to interest rate fluctuations if held to maturity. Once you buy, you're locked in. No need to worry about what the Fed is up to. If you'd like, pause the video for a moment and think, how could these features benefit your investment strategy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you're thinking. Now here's a plot twist for you. Taxable municipal bonds. Yes, you heard that right. Some municipal bonds are taxable. And believe it or not, they can be incredibly useful in tax-deferred accounts, like IRAs. Why? Because in a tax-deferred account, you're already getting tax benefits, so you might as well go ahead and benefit from the higher yield of taxable munis. Imagine putting an incredibly safe investment in your IRA, it paying you the higher rates we see in taxable munis, but you don't pay taxes on it because of the Roth IRA tax protection. If this info is blowing your mind faster than a bond trader's expense account, smash the like button and subscribe to The Bond Guy. Let's bust some myths about municipal bonds. First up, bonds are boring. Sure, they might not be as exciting as betting your life savings on meme stocks, but they're like the dependable friend who helps you move and brings pizza. Boring can be beautiful when it comes to steady returns. Number two, bonds are only for the rich people. While it's true that some bonds have high minimum investments and people in higher tax brackets benefit more, there are plenty of options for us regular folks who don't bathe in caviar. 3. I'm too young for bonds. Newsflash, bonds aren't just for retirees. They can add stability to your portfolio at any age. I've owned bonds since I was in my 20s. Think of them as the responsible adult at the party, making sure everyone gets home safely while stocks are doing keg stands. Let's talk strategy. How much of your portfolio should be in municipal bonds? Well, that depends on your goals, your risk tolerances, and your tax situation. Common rule of thumb is to subtract your age from 100, and that's the percentage you might consider for stocks with the rest of your bonds. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I just play one on YouTube and occasionally at dinner parties. Here's a pro tip from a bond trader with over 30 years of experience. Don't just focus on yield. Look at the bond's rating. Look at the issuer's financial health and the purpose of the bond. A slightly lower yield from a rock-solid issuer is often better than a higher yield from a shaky one. It's like dating. Sometimes it's better to go with the stable 7 than the chaotic 10. Ready to dip your toes in the municipal bond pool? Here are some steps you can take. 1. Research. Start by learning about your state's municipal bond offerings. 2. Start small. Munis typically trade in $5,000 denomination. Maybe there's an offering for a local school or a hospital you know. Buy one of their bonds and let them pay you a regular stream of tax-exempt income. 3. Monitor. Keep an eye on interest rates and try to buy more bonds when rates are up. 4. Enjoy the ride. If you buy a muni bond with the intention of never selling it, just collecting the interest and getting your face value back at maturity, it doesn't matter what the market does. Whether it goes up or down, you know exactly what you're getting. Kind of like Monday night homemade spaghetti night at my house when I was a kid growing up. And there you have it. Municipal bonds. Not just for grandpas anymore. They're like the Swiss Army knife of the investment world. Versatile, reliable, and great for getting corks out of wine bottles. Wait, that part might just be for me. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the exciting worlds of bond, yes, I said exciting and bonds in the same sentence, check out more videos. We've got everything from bond basics to advanced strategies that'll make you the life of the investment party. Remember, while I've tried to make municipal bonds as clear as a AAA rated bond prospectus, this video is for educational purposes only. Always consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. Your financial situation is unique, and what works for one investor might not work for another. Until next time, this is Michael O'Donnell saying, always think of bonds if you're looking for an investment where you know exactly what you're going to get and when you're going to get it.